Hello amigos, welcome back to Astrology with Ninad. In this video, I am going to discuss a very important and major transit that is coming up. Venus, the most auspicious planet in Vedic astrology next to Jupiter, is finally going to leave the sign of Aries and transit to its own sign of Taurus, which is Vrishabha Rashi, on June 29, and it will stay in its own sign till July 25. So a very important transit, because any planet which transits in its own constellation is always going to try to give favorable results. It is a strong planet and it will try to do good in whatever way it can. And what better than a naturally Shubha Graha, a naturally auspicious planet like Venus, transiting in its own sign of Taurus. So especially if you are running the Mahadasha, which is the major planetary period, or Antardasha, which is the minor planetary period of Venus, then lo and behold, you will naturally feel significant effects of this transit. Even if Venus is in exaltation in your chart, or in its own sign of Taurus or Libra, or in a friendly sign, or is Vargottam, or is Digbali due to having directional strength, then also you are going to experience a lot of good effects. So my predictions are mainly based on your ascendant sign, which is known as the Uday Lagna, or the rising sign, or the Lagna, what we say. So try to watch from that. Or you can also watch from your moon sign, which is known as the Chandra Rashi, the Chandra Lagna. Right? Both are very important in their own respects. I will advise to watch the prediction from both your ascendant sign and moon sign, and over a period of time you will know exactly which sign prediction you resonate most with. Ascendant sign predictions have an impact on actual physical events in life, while moon sign predictions have an impact on the senses and emotional and mental well-being. So I have listed the timestamps in the description box below for your convenience, so you can click on the time that corresponds to your ascendant and moon sign and watch accordingly. Without any further delay, let's dive straight into seeing what this amazing transit is going to bring for all the 12 Rashis. For my Aries Mesha Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your second house in its own sign of Taurus. Now this is a very good placement, because Venus, Shukradev, is the natural Karaka of luxury, of prosperity, of riches, of pleasure, sensuality, right? And it is now in its own sign of Taurus, that too in the Dhanastan, in the house of wealth, liquid assets. So naturally your bank balance can start to shoot up. Your savings can start to grow. Your wealth accumulation can start to increase. Financially, you will start to feel a whole lot better. For single people who are looking to get married, but the right kind of proposals have not been coming, I will advise to now maybe talk to your relatives, talk to your extended family members, talk to your cousins, inquire if they know of someone who could be a good fit for you, because there are strong chances you can get some really good recommendations to meet a potential match through them. You're also going to spend quite some money for dining out, fancy dining, eating a lot of good food. Maybe you might travel locally or internationally and stay in the nicest of hotels, luxury hotels, and you will just have a very good time enjoying yourself, eating good food, and spending time with your relatives, quality time, right, with your family. Overall, finances are looking to be very positive during this time. Your speech and communication will also be very persuasive, convincing. The way you speak, you will appear to be very charismatic, very knowledgeable. Then we see that Venus's direct aspect will be on your 8th house on the sign of Scorpio. So here, as we see, there is a connection between the 2nd and the 8th house. So if you are in the field of occult sciences, investigation, any research type field, then you can make some remarkable progress during this time period. And from there, some wealth accumulation can also be there. Some sudden inflow of money can be through your spouse, through your in-laws, through your past investments like the stock market, or through any sort of legacies, inheritance, any sort of real estate investments you might have made in the past. You have suddenly decided to sell. These sort of things can take place. Overall, it is going to be a great time for you to build your relationship with your in-laws. If there were any issues in your relationship with them for a long time, this is a great window of opportunity for you to remedy those differences, resolve those issues, and get back on the same page together. It will be a good time for that. So overall, as you can see, this time is looking to be quite good for you based on Venus's transit. And even for business people, you can start to experience more profits, increased revenues in your business activities. Just be slightly careful with business partnerships. But overall, it is going to be a very good transit for my Aries Mesh Rashi friends. All the best. For my Taurus Vrishabha Rashi friends, well, the Lord of your Ascendant, the ruler of your Lagna, will be transiting in the 1st house itself. What an amazing placement. Venus is now back in full control of your destiny, of your luck factor. All good things will start to happen now. You will start to experience more pleasure, satisfaction. Overall, your life will start to move in a much more positive direction. You will start to attract new love in your life if you're single. If you're wanting to get married, this can also be a great time because Venus from the 1st will be directly aspecting the 7th house of marriage. So some new doors of opportunities, good proposals, alliances might start to come your way. For business people, it is going to be an excellent time where your revenues can start to increase, profits can start to grow significantly, and even your business partnerships, if you have any, can start to smoothen out. If there were any issues, those can be resolved. Venus in the 1st house is also going to make you very charismatic, charming, having a magnetic type of personality, very attractive. You're going to be able to easily attract the people of the opposite sex. Because Venus is the natural significator of luxury, your inclination towards, experiencing more luxury, going to the finest of hotels, fine dining, shopping, jewelry shopping for expensive clothes, traveling, going on a nice luxury cruise. All these things can start to play out for you. Overall, even the aspect on the 7th is going to be a great time for, traveling, long distance traveling, voyages. There is going to be, you are going to get very competitive as well in this time period. Now, whether that is in your career, in your business, in your education, whatever area it might be, you are going to become way more competitive. But you will have the ability to defeat your competitors, your enemies. Your enemies will be suppressed, but in a good way, as in just by your wit, by your persuasive communication, by your convincing way of approach, right? People like your enemies will actually, they can become your friends. Like it's that kind of a transit where they will just be amazed by the way you work, by the way you speak, by the way you communicate, because your charisma will be at an all-time high. It can be a great time for you to start repaying any loans you had taken in the past if you want to get debt free. This is a great time to work on your fitness, on your health. If you have fitness goals, definitely work after those, because you can become quite healthy in this time period and recover from possible health issues. Your overall everyday work life routine is going to get exciting. You are going to become very enthusiastic about your job, about your business, which is going to make you work 10 times harder and naturally bring in the success, prosperity, and rewards attached with the same. So overall, a great transit for my Taurus Vrishabha Rashi friends, and I hope you make the most of it. All the best. For my Gemini Mithun Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 12th house in its own sign of Taurus. Now this is a good placement, nothing to be worried. Even though the 12th house is a Trig Bhava, Venus is comfortably placed here because it is in its own constellation. And as a basic principle, any planet transiting in its own sign will always try to give, for the most part, favorable results. It is not going to try to damage its own house. It will always try to improve the significations of its own bhava. So here you can expect some increase in expenses. Overall spending will go up, but it can be for something that you enjoy and desire, such as fine dining, shopping, buying something expensive, extravagant spending, maybe going on a luxury cruise or a, nice international vacation. All these things cost money. But since Venus is the natural Karaka, which represents luxury, sensuality, pleasure, overall life satisfaction, it is a good thing to indulge in this, especially when Venus is transiting in the 12th house. But do so responsibly. Make sure to monitor your budget, control your overall spending, because Saturn's aspect will be on Venus. So you need to be a bit disciplined as well and should not throw caution to the wind. Then, as you can see here, if you have been suffering from insomnia, any sleep disorders, then this is the best time for you to get into a good sleep pattern, because your overall sleep quality is going to get a whole lot better, because your 12th house will now have the support and protection of the 12th Lord itself. For those couples who are in a relationship, who are married, are going to experience a lot of increased bed pleasures. Sensual and romantic activities will be on the rise. There can be some nice surprises from your spouse, from your partner. They can shower you with gifts. Overall, the love, romance will be in the air. This can also be a great time for seva, for dan, dharma, charitable activities, participating in social service organizations, learning more about spirituality, about your spiritual path, sadhana, connecting with oneself, with the nature. all these things will also pay off quite well. Then we see that from the 12th house, Venus will directly impact the 6th house. So it is going to impact the sign of Scorpio. So this is a great time for you to defeat your enemies or suppress your competitors by being charismatic, by not being aggressive, but by being polite and showing good counsel, diplomacy. Using these sort of tactics and techniques will help you to conquer your enemies. Your enemies could actually turn into your well-wishers and friends. Because your Venus, a very, very auspicious planet, is impacting the 6th house of enemies. So with your sweet talk, with your charismatic way of approach, your enemies can become your friends. Then we see that there could also be some profits from your past investments that you might gain here. Because 6th house is a Artha house. It is a house which represents Artha, money. And Venus's Mool Trikona is in your 5th house. But the increased profits you might get, again, monitor your spending, be watchful of your expenses. Do not take any major financial loans unless your natal chart, Mahadasha, Antardasha support that. This can actually be a great time to start repaying any old loans you had taken in the past. This is a great time to work on your fitness goals, modify your everyday work-life routine into doing something which will enable you to be a more functional and more productive and efficient human being. Your everyday work-life routine is naturally going to get exciting. You're going to be a whole lot motivated to achieve your goals and objectives. And with that will naturally come a lot of success, growth, and prosperity. Even if you have any pets, spend a lot of time with them. It will give you happiness. Do some seva. Volunteer at an animal shelter. Or maybe volunteer at a, NGO or any type of social service organization. Help out the poor, needy. All these things will help you get the blessings of goddess Lakshmi, which is the significator of wealth and prosperity. So as you can see, overall, this transit is going to be good for the Gemini people, and I wish you the best. For my Cancer Karka Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in the all auspicious 11th house in its own sign of Taurus. What more could you want, right? Because 11th house is representing one's desires, wish fulfillment. It is the house of gains from several sources of income. And Venus, being a natural Kark of luxury, of money, of wealth, alongside Jupiter, is going to try to bring in or enhance your sources of income. Your gains can start to amplify. And it can especially happen through sale of any property during this time, like real estate dealings, transactions, or it could be through the sale of your vehicle. Maybe you are thinking of selling your old vehicle. You have like 2 or 3 cars. You're thinking of downsizing and, just selling off one car, and you might make a, good profit on that. So these are some ways that Venus is going to help you to accumulate more wealth in your life. It can also be through investments like the stock market, for example, or any other investments you had made in the recent past. Your Venus can start to help you to realize your dreams, goals, aspirations. And especially if you're single, you're looking to find a partner, then this can be an excellent time for that. Your dreams and your desires might finally come true. And it can happen through your elder sibling, through your social network, through your friend circle. So definitely explore those options. For those couples already in a relationship, the time is going to be beautiful for you to improve and strengthen your bonding, because your overall affection, love for each other is only going to grow during this time period. So spend a lot of good quality time with your partner. You might receive some unexpected gifts from them. And overall, it is going to be a blissful time for relationship area. It is also going to be a great time for social life. If you had been feeling neglected, if you had felt that you are all alone, you don't have friends, now is the time that maybe you could join some social groups, and you can start to get invitations to attend social events, and overall your friend circle can start to increase as well. You might make some new connections, and this can give you a lot of mental happiness, peace, and satisfaction. There are chances of a bonus, promotion, or salary increment from your job as well. So if you have been working hard and you have been dedicated for a long time in your current job, but you have not really seen much traction, felt stagnant, then suddenly there is a chance of some rewards or bonus or promotion, salary increment, or maybe a desired job transfer that can play out in this transit. Your overall relationship with your bosses, with your colleagues, with your subordinates will also start to improve a whole lot. And if there were any issues, those can also be resolved during this time period. If if you are a woman who is desiring a child, so this is going to be a supportive time for the progeny related area as well, because Venus is a wet planet which indicates fertility. So it does support the progeny related area, so it can be a good support for childbirth related matters. But of course, for that to be specific, to be significant, you also need to make sure your natal chart, your Mahadasha, Antardasha, these support that as well. But solely looking at Venus only, it is going to be a better time for the children area. So, to summarize, a beautiful transit for my Cancer Karka Rashi friends, and I wish you the best. For my Leo Simha Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 10th house in its own sign of Taurus. A beautiful and exceptional transit, because any planets in a Kendra get a lot of power, and 10th house is the highest of the Kendra houses. And Venus also is creating a Malavya Yoga here. So a beautiful time for career is indicated. For professional life, it is going to be stronger than ever before for my Leo friends, because Venus, the Lord of the 10th house, is now here to support your career goals, aspirations, and ambitions, and help you to realize your dreams and fructify your desires connected to your job. So whether it is improved relationship with your bosses, colleagues, subordinates, whether it is, landing that special project, whether it is getting that desired job transfer, whether it is promotion, bonus, or salary increment type matters moving up the chain, these sort of good things can fructify. If you don't have a job, you have been unemployed for a while, this is one of the best transits to really, put in that parakram, put in that hard work, effort, apply to hundreds of jobs, give tons of interviews, because there is a very good chance that you can land a decent job with a good salary, benefits package, and perks. So do not let this key window of opportunity slip by you. Make the most of it, because it is looking to be solid for the career area. Your overall prestige, reputation, status in society will also start to increase, and people will come to you seeking advice, good counsel, because you will appear to be very charismatic, charming, magnetic. And that is one reason, when you give interviews, along with a skill set, along with subject matter expertise, if you also have an added charm about you, you have that natural charisma, then people are going to be attracted to you, right? There is a more probability of landing a job because of your charm, wit, humor, in addition to your skills and expertise. So Venus is going to help you in the same. Then we see that from the 10th house, Venus will directly aspect the 4th house and the sign of Scorpio. So here, it can be a great time for you to remedy if there were any issues in the relationship with your mother. This is a great time for resolving any differences. Your overall mental peace, happiness, relaxation will increase. You will start to feel much happier, more content with your life. This can be a wonderful time for primary education students who are, giving any examinations to really get good grades, as long as you put in the hard work and effort. Because again, Venus's Mool Trikona is in your 3rd house. So without hard work, effort, parakram, dedication, commitment, loyalty, none of these things are possible. So put in your best foot forward and leave the rest to the, higher power, and see the magic unfold. This can be also a good time for any property, real estate dealings and transactions, and also for vehicle dealings. Of course, make sure to check your natal chart, Mahadasha, Antardasha, and see if it supports that. But from a general perspective, it is looking really good for these type of things. Also looking good for home decor, right? Like if you want to beautify your house even more, upgrade some things, do some renovation, homework, then it can be a great time for doing these sort of activities. And then I will suggest to do some yoga, meditation, pranayama, spending some quality time in nature, doing some regular exercise will all help to only improve and amplify the effects of Venus in a positive way. So overall, a great transit for my Leo friends, and I wish you the best. For my Virgo Kanya Rashi friends, Venus, your Bhagyesh, your destiny lord, is finally going to transit in the 9th house itself in its own sign of Taurus. One of the most auspicious placements, correct? Because the 9th house is the highest of the trine, right? It is the highest of the dharma bhavas. And then you see that Venus here in its own sign in the trine house is creating a Malavya Yoga, which will contribute to your overall luck, prosperity, happiness, success, overall life satisfaction, pleasure, your fortune supporting you, your destiny, luck factor increasing, especially connected to your wealth, to finances, to money, to your relationship with your relatives, extended family members, cousins. Some long distance traveling, journey, vacation might be on the cards for you. This is a great time to go on a spiritual or religious retreat if you have long desired to. It's a great time to indulge into any sort of, starting mantras, initiation into a religion, visiting the religious institutions of your choice, right? Following or carrying out your duties in a righteous and ethical manner, because it is all about dharma here. It is all about doing your duty, right? The duty for one individual might not always, correlate with another individual. The duty or the dharma of the sun, of the Surya Devta, is to rise every day, give us light, right? The duty or the dharma of a tree is to, give us shade. Similarly, the duty of each human being or the dharma is going to be individualized. So you should do the dharma or follow the right path of action. And Venus will bless you 10 times and manyfold. Pray to Goddess Lakshmi during this time, right? So naturally, you will start to seek her blessings. And especially if you're living in a foreign land, if you're living abroad, you're doing higher education like master's, PhD program, postdoc, or you are doing a job there or a business, then your luck and fortune will favor you even more stronger. You will, become way more successful as compared to if you're in your home country during this transit. Because 9th house is one of the main houses of foreign land. From the 9th house, Venus will aspect the 3rd house and the sign of Scorpio. So here, because Venus is a very auspicious and Shubha Graha, try not to be too complacent. Keep working hard, stay focused, do not give up, be committed, be loyal, be honest, carry out your duties in an ethical manner, and then you will see your destiny support you in almost every area of life. Your communication skills will also become very enhanced. People will be mesmerized by the way you talk. If you are in the field of sales, advertising, marketing, politics, any public relations role, if you are a minister, if you are in the government, in a high position, this transit can be very beneficial for you to rise in those respective roles. Your overall relationship with your neighbors will improve during this time. With your siblings, your bonding will grow. There will be a lot of affection between you and your siblings. And overall, the more brave you become, the more courageous you are, the more you go after your goals, objectives, whatever you desire without backing down, is where your true success will lie during this transit. So be a force to be reckoned with, and Venus is by your side. All the best. For my Libra Tula Rashi friends, the Lord of your ascendant, the ruler of your Lagna, Venus, will be transiting in the 8th house in its own sign of Taurus. So 8th house, it is the house of unearned wealth, right? It is a hidden house. It is a mysterious, deep, intense house. But still, Venus here is in its own sign, own Rashi. So it is comfortable. Here, there could be sudden chances of gains from your potential past investments, from your spouse, in-laws, inheritance, any legacies, any bequest, any type of insurance, any type of real estate or vehicle investments, any type of, sudden unexpected gain of wealth, which comes out of the blue, which you had never even imagined, right? Because 8th house is the house of sudden ups and downs in life, sudden transformations, sudden gains or losses in life. But since Venus here is well placed, I would expect more of the gains to come in. But still, Saturn's 3rd aspect is on Venus on the 8th house, so do not become too greedy, right? Let's say if you have invested in the stock market or in any other investment asset and you start to see some gain, but there is also a chance of losing money, but you keep thinking that your accumulation or the gain is only going to keep increasing, then you might fall in a trap. So try to realize that gain before it is too late, and then don't reinvest those back in high risk speculative investments like cryptocurrency, penny stocks, gambling, betting. Otherwise you might lose money. There are chances of possible winnings through the lottery as well. If your natal chart supports that, your Mahadasha, Antardasha, then sudden gain of money through that source is also possible. Here, if you have any interest in occult sciences like astrology, tarot, vastu, numerology, palmistry, astronomy, any of these sciences, then you should certainly explore that more. Same goes with investigation field, research oriented fields, any scientific research type fields, right? Doing so can help you to discover your own path, or if you're already in these fields, you can make a sudden great discovery, or you could uncover something that is of great interest to you. This can also be a great time for recovery from any chronic health issues that might be bothering you. It is a great time to research into what strategies or what techniques you can adapt to cure yourself or recover completely from these chronic type of ailments. It is a great time for you to build your relationship with your in-laws. If there were any issues in the recent past, this is one of the best window of opportunity for you to resolve those differences and be on the same page together. And for those people who already have good relationship with your in-laws, then there could be some sudden unexpected surprises from their side. So it can happen during this transit. Then we see from the 8th house that Venus will aspect the second house, right? The direct aspect will be on the second house of Scorpio. So here you can see that the wealth accumulation will naturally increase because second house is connected to your bank balance, savings, liquid cash, right? Movable property. So basically any type of jewelry. So there could be some benefits and gains in those areas. There can be some possible family reunions on the cards. You could meet your extended family members, your relatives, your cousins, your uncles, aunts, and just have a good, fun, memorable time. You might also, go and have some fancy food, drinks, whatnot, because Venus here will be aspecting the second house, which is connected to eating and drinking. And Venus, being a natural planet of luxury, is bound for you to spend a bit in order to enjoy yourself. Overall, your communication, your speech will also become very convincing, persuasive, and very charming indeed. So these are all the possible scenarios that can play out for my Libra Tula Rashi friends, and I wish you the best. For my Scorpio Vrischika Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 7th house in its own sign of Taurus. Now here there is a Malavya Yoga being created as it is in a Kendra Bhava in its own sign. So very auspicious, especially concerning marriage related activities. So for single people wanting to get married, but you have not been really having much luck, finally things will start to open up for you in a more positive way. The right kind of proposals, alliances will come your way. So be proactive, keep exploring your options, because this is going to be an excellent transit for fructifying, any sort of matrimony desires. And possibility of even connecting with someone who is a compatible match can be with someone who is in a foreign land, who stays in a faraway land from where you live, right? So that possibility is definitely going to be there. So keep your options open and keep trying, because this is going to be a key window of opportunity for marriage. And those couples who have been planning to get married for a long time, it can fructify during this transit of Venus, as it is a very favorable time when the Lord of the marriage house is transiting in the marriage house itself. But make sure your dasha, antardasha, your natal chart all support that. Then the same goes for business area. If you have been encountering a lot of expenses, lot of issues in your overall functioning of the business, whether it is hiring the right type of employees, subordinates, business partnerships not working out, finally, there will be some positive traction felt in these areas. Revenues might start to increase. Profits can start to accrue more. Cost-cutting measures can become more effective. So overall, a great time for business area is seen, and especially for those people who want to do like a startup, start a new venture, then this is one of the best transits when the 7th Lord is transiting in the 7th house. A great time again for long distance traveling, networking, journeys to foreign lands, connecting with foreigners, people from different cultures, backgrounds, race, religion, ethnicity. Especially if you are married, then, with your spouse, you can embark on some nice long, vacation to a foreign country that you had long desired to. Overall, your bonding, love, romance will increase during this transit. The sensuality will be at an all-time high. Bed pleasures will naturally increase, because Venus represents all these things. So overall, going to be an excellent time for marital bliss. From the 7th, Venus will directly aspect your 1st house, which is on the sign of Scorpio. So here you can expect your personality to become very charming, very attractive, very magnetic. People will just come to you, flock to you for advice, counsel. If you're single looking for a relationship, you will have an easier time now attracting people of the opposite sex. Your overall leadership skills will enhance. Your communication skills will only grow. And this is a great time for you to move upward in your organization. Maybe applying for a bonus, promotion, salary increment, job transfer, whatever you desire, you have some good moment right now, which is happening. Your overall, there could be some dealings with foreign lands. Again, there is going to be a strong connection with foreign lands. Whether it is investments, running a business like import, export with foreign lands, whether it is traveling and going for a vacation in a foreign country, whether it is visiting your family overseas, or whether it is even relocating to a foreign country for higher education, for your business, with your family, for after marriage, all these things can start to play out. But expenses can also increase quite a bit. So control your spending, monitor it, and do not let things get out of hand. So these are some of the effects that can play out for my Scorpio friends, and I wish you the best. For my Sagittarius Dhanu Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 6th house in its own sign of Taurus. Now this is not a bad placement, because although 6th is a Dustana Bhava, it is still Venus's own Rashi. So Venus will try to give good results in whichever and whatever way it can. So sixth is connected, for example, to loans, right? Rin, what we say. So if you had taken a lot of loans in the past, then this is a great time to repay those loans off so you can become debt free. Or if you had not taken any loans, you are already debt free and you are hoping or wanting or desiring to take new loans, then this is a good support here that Venus is providing. Of course, make sure your natal chart, Antardasha, Mahadasha support these kind of ventures. Then we see that it is a great time for recovery from any acute type of health issues if you were suffering from them. You might be able to find the right treatment, medication, therapy, whatever it might be. It is a good time for improving your overall health, vitality, immunity, as you will start to feel more robust. Then competitors and enemies who have been bothering you, right? This is the best time to suppress those enemies, not by being quarrelsome, not by being aggressive, but being more diplomatic, by being more charismatic, by showing that you are prudent and wise and you can make good level-headed decisions. That is the way people are going to start to respect you more. And you might even have the knack or ability to convert your enemies to your well-wishers. Because Venus here is a planet of charm, right? So naturally, it is going to add a lot of charm and attraction in your personality, where if you use the right kind of strategies, your enemies can actually turn to your friends or become your friends. Then we see that if you modify your everyday work-life routine, then it is going to be a great time for you to basically become a more productive and a highly functioning individual. With that will naturally come success, prosperity, growth, and rewards like never before. So try to make the most of it. Then, as we see from the 6th house, Venus will be directly aspecting the 12th house. So naturally, this will improve your sleep quality. If you have been suffering from sleep disorders like insomnia, this is a great time where you will start to feel, relaxed, peaceful. Try to do some seva, dan, dharma, helping out with social service organizations, volunteering at an animal shelter, maybe, going on some holy, religious or spiritual retreat or pilgrimage, doing some meditation, yoga, pranayama, doing some charity work. All these things are going to nicely activate the 12th house matters for you. Overall, if you are residing in a foreign land, then you can also progress quite a bit here during this time period, whether it is in your business, whether in your career, job, education, whatever area it might be. Your fulfillment of desires or your sources of income can start to open up quite a lot in places far away from your homeland as well. So I believe these are some of the effects likely to play out for the Sagittarius people, and I wish you the best. For my Capricorn Makar Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your 5th house in its own sign of Taurus. Now this is one of the best placements because Venus, first of all, is a Yoga Karaka planet for you, meaning a very key and beneficial planet as it controls a Kendra and a Trikon. Also, not only is it creating a Malavya Yoga, but it is activating the Lakshmi Sthana, which is the house connected to fortune, prosperity, luck. So there are strong chances of gains from your past investments, like the stock market, for example, or any other investments you had made. Not suggesting that you invest more or you invest in these asset classes, but I'm just saying solely looking at the positioning of Venus, gains from these type of investments or from different sources of income are likely. Your Venus is activating the house of Purva Punya, past life good deeds. So if you have done a lot of good karmas in your previous lives, then those rewards can start to play out here because it will be activated. It is also a great time for initiation of any mantra, tantra, any yagna that you want to do, any fire ritual, puja, part. Because fifth house is being activated, your sense of intuition, gut feeling, your sixth sense, what we say, will be strongly uplifted. And that can help you make better decisions. Especially fifth house is connected to love and romance. So if you're single and you are talking to many people, then you will have that intuition, that inner voice, which will guide you in the right direction. It will become very active during this time. Same with choosing your friends, your social network, your friend circle. You will become very picky and you will choose the right kind of people that you want to be associated with. For those couples already in a relationship, it is going to be a beautiful time. You will have a lot of fun, quality, memorable moments that you will spend with your partner. And you could even get a surprise, nice, unexpected gift from them. Overall, the pleasure, sensuality, satisfaction, bed pleasures, love, romance will be at a peak when Venus is transiting in your fifth house. So a great time for couples. Then if you have any desire to teach, to provide good counsel, to be an advisor, then this is a very key and good opening for the same. If you are a woman who is desiring to have children, then this specific transit of Venus is going to be very much supportive for progeny related area. If you already have children, then your relationship with them will improve manifold. You will spend a lot of quality, memorable moments with your children, which will only enhance the love, affection, and bonding between you and your children. From the fifth house, Venus will be impacting the 11th house, the Labhasthan, the house of gains, desires, wish fulfillment. It is the sign of Scorpio, right? So here, there could be some gains, possible promotion, bonus, salary increment, a desired job transfer to a different location in your professional life. Your overall desires connected to your job can fructify now. If you don't have a job and you keep trying, there is a good chance you could land a new job opportunity as well. Your friend circle will strongly support you. Your elder siblings will also support you quite a bit. So lean on to them for advice and good counsel, as well as the advice they will provide you will be very much valuable. Then we see that 11th house is also connected to large organizations, social clubs, right? So your involvement in these kind of areas can prove to be fruitful and profitable for you. And then overall, good health is also indicated. If you have been suffering from hospitalization, lot of medical expenses, all these things will start to reduce and you will start to feel a whole lot better physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. So make the most of it. It is going to be a very good transit for you. All the best. For my Aquarius Kumbha Rashi friends, Venus, which is a Yoga Karaka planet for you, will be transiting in the fourth house in its own sign of Taurus. Your Venus gets Digbali, it creates a Malavya Yoga, and it is in its own Rashi. So it is going to be very, very powerful for you and in a very auspicious and good way. And that could mean, selling real estate, making a whole lot of profit, or buying the house of your dreams, decorating it in such a way that everyone will be just amazed. Or it could mean selling your one of your vehicles and making a whole lot of profit. Because if you have, let's say, 3 4 cars, and you sell one car which has just been catching dust, that's money in your hands which can be reinvested into something which will only give you more profit and return on your investments. Then we see that your those people in the field of business connected to real estate, vehicles, automobiles, luxury home decor, furniture, high end furniture are going to benefit a whole lot. Those students in the primary education sector will also perform very well in their academics, as long as they are not, giving into distractions and temptations. If you study hard, you will do great. Here, your overall mental peace, happiness, relaxation will increase manifold. You will become content because your Sukha Bhava or a Sukha Sthan is being activated very positively. So, do some meditation, yoga, pranayam, spend some time in nature, go for a nice run or jog, as it will only enhance Venus's effects in your fourth house. If your mother was suffering from any health issues, then there will be a respite in that area. She will start to feel a whole lot better. Your overall relationship with your mother will improve quite a bit. You will spend some good quality moments with her, and you will get a lot of support and good advice and counsel from your mother as well. So pay heed to her advice. There is a strong chance of connecting with some good childhood friends you had not seen for a long time, but who are very near and dear to you. You have always held them in high esteem and regard. Finally, you might connect, you might reconnect, and it can be a very pleasant time for you to intermingle with these, childhood family type friends. Then we see that Venus will directly impact the 10th house, the sign of Scorpio. Great time for career, especially if you're unemployed. Then one of the best times for giving job interviews, as with your charisma, charm, magnetic personality, and subject matter expertise, talents, and skills, you can land an amazing job with a good salary and benefits package. And if you're already employed in a good company, then lo and behold, you can make tremendous progress during this time period, impress your bosses, colleagues, co-workers with your hard work and effort, and leave no stone unturned into proving your worth. Because this is the time to make your mark in your professional life, because your overall prestige, reputation, status will only increase in your society, in your family life, and everywhere you go, people will talk about you in a positive way. Overall, your relationship with your father will also improve quite a bit during this time, and definitely spend some good quality time with both your parents, your mother and father, and it will be good for you because Venus controls the ninth house, which in the South India is considered to represent the father figure. So a great time to spend with your father and mother, and heed and listen to their advice, as it can prove to be very valuable. Your overall destiny luck factor will become very strong during this time period, and there can be some long distance traveling journey and vacation on the card as well. Especially if you are in a foreign land, then you might visit your home country to maybe spend some time with your family, or it could be to do some real estate dealings as well. So there can be some traveling involved, especially overseas traveling. But this transit is going to be a very powerful one for you, so use it to your advantage. All the best. For my Pisces Meen Rashi friends, Venus will be transiting in your third house in its own sign of Taurus. since his Mool Trikon falls in the 8th house, basically any hard work, effort, self-effort and parakram you put into any research type of field, occult sciences, investigation type of field, scientific research, even for those students doing postdoc, PhD, you can make a lot of progress. You can actually achieve remarkable progress in these fields, given that you are going to be fully dedicated to your basically field of study. Your communication skills will become very deep, very intense, but in a very pleasing, persuasive and convincing way. Whatever you communicate will hold a lot of substance. People will be mesmerized by the way you communicate. They will want to keep hearing more from you. You will appear to be very mysterious to them and filled with a lot of deep knowledge. So use the communication, whether written, oral, or any form of communication connected to media, advertising, sales, marketing, to your advantage. Even if you are in the teaching profession, it can be a good time for you. Then we see that your relationship with your siblings can also enhance during this time. You have the support of your third lord in the third house. So a great time to work on the relationship with your siblings and improve those. Short distance traveling and journeys will be profitable and fruitful. So will long distance traveling journey and vacation, especially to foreign lands. Because from the third house, Venus will directly aspect the 9th house. Here, it can also be a great time for you to basically embark on any spiritual or religious journeys. Whether it is pursuing your own sadhana, whether it is going on a spiritual retreat, whether it is visiting a monastery, whether it is visiting a temple, masjid, mosque, church, gurudwara, whatever religious institution you follow, becoming more religious, becoming more dharmic, carrying out your duties in a righteous and ethical manner, leaving no stone unturned in that, upholding your morals, good values and ethics, being duty-minded, all these things will go a long way. Overall, your destiny luck factor can also enhance and support you in some matters, especially recovery from any chronic type of ailments, making good progress in any deep research-oriented studies, especially even for investigation units like the CBI, FBI, they might crack some really cold cases during this time. Or any scientific researchers or scientists can make a sudden important discovery which could benefit mankind during this transit as well. Overall, it can be a good time for you to improve the relationship with your father. If there were any issues, you can certainly remedy those, resolve those differences, and be on the same page moving forward. So these are some of the effects that could be experienced by the Pisces Meen Rashi people, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for watching.